Welcome to this practice. It's gotten cold in Oregon, where I'm teaching from. Today, we're going to be addressing the Vata dosha and the 5 vayus. We'll include some vagal tone work, and then we'll go down like a corkscrew method in the body, looking at some twisting poses, and then deeper twists that encourage the lower abdomen. We will round out the class with Setu Bandhasana bridge pose. This practice can be helpful to you with your Vata dosha going towards anxiety or flitting about or becoming ungrounded. If that has been the case, you're in the right place. Let's take class together now. See you there. Good morning and welcome for practice. It's definitely Vata season now. We just got a warning for the streets in Portland, an ice warning for the morning traffic, based on the temperature dropping down, and it has been raining and now it's going to clear up. So this warning for ice on the streets tells us that it's Vata season because ice comes in as a part of Vata. It's cold, and then when it becomes cold and dry, then we have the ice forming. In our physical bodies, what that means is that it's helpful to stay warm, grounded, and to keep ourselves a bit more close to center, closer to home. One of the conditions of Vata dosha is also that it becomes highly mobile. So when the wind moves, so if we have rain that becomes then dry, but the ground is still wet, the pavement is still wet, the wind comes in, the cold comes in, we get this icy experience. So if we think of windy, that is the windy nature of the mind, which is recommended not to have a very windy mind in Vata season. So how to quiet down the wind. I sometimes think of it as a windmill or a Ferris wheel. I often refer to it as a ceiling fan. When the mind is doing those things where it feels like it's repetitively going through something and we aren't able to intervene, yoga becomes profoundly helpful. So let's take a comfortable seat. We'll get underway. You can rest your hands in your lap. You're welcome to close your eyes. And as you lengthen up through your spine, including the crown of your skull, let your attention kind of cascade down to be closer to the ground beneath you. And physically take notice of the sensations of your body and your particular footprint on the ground right now. That could be your blanket, your sitting bones, your yoga mat, your ankles. And then as you drop your breath down into those contact points, start noticing the smoothness of the breath. And if you're able to, begin balancing your inhale with your exhale. And start noticing the pauses in your breath cycle as you sort of land the plane of the mind, coming down moment to moment. As you start noticing the pauses in the breath, let's become a little more interested in the stillness between the movements of inhale and exhale. to give the mind and the body greater access to the inner self and this sense of grounding. I'd like you to just take your right arm behind you. You can have the arm straight and reach back with your left hand to hold your right wrist, and straighten, keep the arm straight back there. As you hold your right wrist, roll your right shoulder back. Lift up through your heart. Inhale, turn your head to your left. When you roll the right shoulder back here, we're going to be doing a little bit of movement with the head and the breath. We're basically addressing vagal tone to help your mind come down into the present moment. So as you inhale, gaze left. And exhale, bring your chin down towards your left collarbone. Inhale, gaze left, so your chin becomes level. And exhale, rotate around to center. Release your right arm, straighten the left arm, take it behind you. It's just going to go behind you. Your fingers can actually touch the floor as well. Bring your right hand around to hold your left wrist. Roll the left shoulder back. Inhale your head to your right. Exhale, bring your chin down towards your right collarbone. Inhale, look right with a head that's level. And exhale, rotate back to center. You bring the right arm around behind, hold your wrist with your left hand. Inhale, turn your gaze left. Exhale, chin down. Inhale, gaze left. Exhale to center. Change sides. Hold your left wrist with your right hand. Inhale, gaze right. Exhale, gaze down. Chin down. Inhale, gaze right. Exhale to center. Bring your hands to your lap and see if, having moved some energy in the throat, does your mind drop down more easily to find inhale and exhale in the pelvis. And then raise your hands to your heart. We'll continue some of that work, but we'll go now to the invocation, a little prayer that our practice helps us to discern what is most important from what is least important, or what is precious from what is not precious, what is true from what is not true. Om Asatoma Satgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya. Om Asatoma Sadgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya. Om Asatoma Satgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Guru Pyo Namaha. Hari Om. And with your exhale, you may bow your head to your heart. Release your hands. Please open your eyes. So one of the ways that we can come back down into the pelvic basin is by managing the vayu called Udana Vayu, which is the vayu in the throat. And this vayu is energetically directed upwards. However, if we have a lot of prana and vata up in the head, and we lack an organized sense of prana down lower in the body, then what's moving upwards becomes like a gateway for that to become even more excessive. And that becomes excessive in our culture because of the activities that we're involved in, including things like overeating, over ingesting, and then over talking or using our speech non-purposely, but just constantly. Some people take that in the form of gossiping or colluding or talking longer than is necessary on a certain topic, or what I used to call getting into a traffic roundabout in a conversation where you can't get out of it, but you're sort of stuck in it like that. So there's various ways that we ingest or we kind of output that dysregulates Udana Vayu. And then there's all the attention we put up into the head, like even the computer, the eyes, the senses directed forward on these goal-oriented tasks and projects that really aren't aligned with our spiritual journey, but maybe seem necessary for our livelihood or for our keeping up in a society that has already a significant imbalance of prana. So we can end up with what's called prana vata imbalance. So too much vata in the head, too much prana upstairs. And yet coming down through this gateway can be difficult if it's become dysregulated. So working through here is going to give us greater access to the pelvis. And that's why poses like Setu Bandhasana, which is bridge pose, and then also Sarvangasana and Halasana. So shoulder stand and plow pose, they become so helpful to us. So I'd like you to take the hands, clasp them at the small of your back, roll the shoulders back, give a good strong squeeze of your arms behind you so the elbows are straight, but not hyperextended. And then as you inhale, lift your chest and heart, but bring your chin down towards your throat. If possible, place your knuckles on the floor behind you without compromising the lift of your spine. As needed, you could put a blanket or a block behind you to make the floor close enough. So the knuckles are powerful, shoulders back, heart and chest up, chin down. And begin breathing more deeply and smoothly. So first third of the torso, middle third, upper third, up into the collarbone. Now, as you next inhale, raise your chin at the top of the inhalation, stretch the throat, open. And then exhale and bow forward and keep the throat open until you come down. There's a natural sense of releasing the weight of your head. Raise your arms up behind you. Again, it's going to be helpful if your head touches something. With the arms stretched up behind you, make the shoulders strong. Lift your shoulders away from your ears. Lengthen your neck. And then exhale, roll your sitting bones down, bring your torso upright. And one more time, inhale, lift and open your throat. And then exhale, release your hands to your lap. And see if you can sense the mind coming down through the hourglass, as it were, like one grain of sand at a time to come back down into the torso. And now we'll make that an activity where we're going to go with the balanced inhale, balanced exhale. It is really helpful if your head touches the floor or a blanket or a block, and if your knuckles touch the floor behind you or a blanket or a block. And no shame in having props to support you. We all have different body proportions, torso, arm length, flexibility. So interlace your fingers, please. And then inhale, roll open, lift up, open your throat, lift your chin. And exhale, bow forward. Breathe in. Exhale, roll up to your seat. So sitting bones down, bring your torso, chest, and heart upright, and then inhale from the base of your spine, move the breath up, open your throat. And exhale, bow forward. Rest your head on the floor. With the inhale, raise your arms up. And exhale, root your sitting bones, rise up to your seat, curl the lower belly in, stabilize your torso. And then inhale, lift from the low belly, mid-torso, chest, heart, throat. And exhale, come forward one more time. Squeeze the breath out using the deep inner abdominal muscles. Inhale, raise your arms up. And then exhale, lower the arms down, rest them gently at the small of your back. Allow your breathing to relax and simply notice when you let go in this position, what happens with your breathing and also with your mind. And then rise up to your seat. Rest your hands in your lap. Now, hopefully you have a little more access to the low belly and the mid-torso and less rumination in the mind. But we're now going to do a practice of breathing vigorously from the low belly first. So a place below your navel and above your pubic bone. This will be a strong exhale that we're doing out through the mouth. I like to put a little bit of tone in the mouth so the exhale has pressure to push through. And I sometimes will describe that as if you're holding a milkshake straw. It's a short straw, right? Not a whole long milkshake straw like that, just a short one. I guess it's a little bitty milkshake. So powerful exhales, exhale, exhale. And at the end of that, we're going to exhale completely. Then we'll inhale to hold the breath. And on that breath hold, we're going to use all three bandhas. Okay, so like this. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, long and smooth out the mouth. Inhale through your nose, up to suspension. Release all three bandhas and exhale slowly. Let your mind drop down into your seat. Now bring your focus to the solar plexus, a little bit above the navel in this fire region of the body. And we're going to exhale in a deliberate and rhythmic manner out through the nose. And then we'll have a long exhale. We'll have an inhale to suspension. And again, all three bandhas. And then exhale to relax back into your center. So like this. Five, four, three, two, one. Exhale long. Inhale through the nose. In your own timing, release the bandhas and let yourself relax into the exhale. And drop your mind again back down into your seat. Please bring your left hand, the back of your left hand to the outside of your right knee, your right thigh, wherever it reaches to. Walk your right hand around behind, twist to your right, look over your right shoulder. And see if you can now bring the breath kind of in a concentrated way to the first third of the pelvis, and then save some inhale for the middle third, and then encourage the inhale to also come into the upper third, so you're not missing out on that opportunity. And see if you can balance your inhale also with your exhale. Focus the exhale in the lower abdomen first, and then in the mid-torso. And just remind yourself that your inhale is also going to be expanding the back hemisphere of the body. It's not just the front abdomen. And then exhale, slowly unwind, come back to center. And drop your mind down into your seat. Bring the back of your right hand across to the outside of your left knee or your left thigh. Walk your left hand behind. Rotate left and do your best to balance your inhale with your exhale. And then exhale, come around to face forward. Drop your hands to your lap. Again, return to your stable base, which has been unchanging in this practice so far. Notice that we just keep coming back to this stable base again and again. You place your right hand on the floor beside you and keep your right arm straight. So there's a deliberate side bend of the torso to your left. Wrap your left arm around behind the small of your back. Roll the left shoulder open and allow your right ear to be, shall we say, dropping down towards your right shoulder heavily, the way the grapes hang on the vine at the end of the season here. There are still grapes falling from the arbor down to the deck. We'll roll the left shoulder back. And as you breathe into your low belly, mid-torso, upper chest, and heart. With an exhale, rotate from your lower belly a little bit to your left. And then inhale, sweep your left arm wide, raise it up overhead, come across. And exhale, rise up to sitting. Place your left hand down beside, wrap your right arm around behind, press into your left arm so your torso side bends to the right, and you're kind of exaggerating that through here. It's not side leaning, it's side curving. Allow the left ear to be heavy towards the left shoulder. And keeping a sense of the heaviness of your left ear, rotate your right shoulder back. And then inhale, lengthen your right arm, raise it up. And exhale, rise up to center. Okay, so let's keep in mind that movement of the shoulder and the arm. And we're going to imagine now that we're sitting as if we were a sundial. And so we're at the center of the sundial, and we're going to go a little bit. We just went right before. Now we're going to go a little bit right towards center, a little more right towards center, and then we'll go to center. And then we'll do left in the same manner. So if you have your right hand initially here, now bring it about 1/4 of the way to center. Wrap your left arm around behind. Roll the left shoulder back. Give yourself a deliberate side bend. So again, the left rib cage is opening. And let the right ear be heavy. With an exhale, roll your left shoulder back. It's going to cause some rotation in the lower belly too. And then inhale, raise your left arm. Keep everything else stable as you sweep your left arm past your left ear. And then exhale, rise up to center. Okay, now where you were, come another 1/4 of the way. So right hand, press into your firm palm and hand, rotate your low belly to your left, deliberately side bend the left rib cage, roll your left shoulder back and wrap your arm around behind the small of your back. Allow the right shoulder to drop a little bit down from your ear and let the right ear be heavy towards your shoulder. And then inhale, raise your left arm, sweep it past your left ear. And exhale, come upright. You might feel like a little bit asymmetrical here. Now bring your right hand to center. Okay, so centering. Rotate. You're going to press firmly into your right hand for the rotation. Turn your lower belly. Wrap your left arm around behind the small of your back. Exhale, rotate left. Keep the right arm stable. Inhale, sweep your left arm up and past your ear. And then exhale, rise up to your seat, rotate back around to center, and notice how asymmetrical you feel. So you're distributing prana into the lower body and the torso and the trunk. You're also having an asymmetrical experience of the musculoskeletal body. So if the left hand were here when we started this, now we're going to go 1/4 of the way towards center. Press into your left hand, deliberately side bend the right torso, wrap your right arm around behind, and let's exhale, rotate right. Press firmly into your left arm, and inhale, raise your right arm past your right ear. And then exhale, rise up to center. Take the left hand 1 more quarter towards center. Rotate your torso to your right. Roll the right shoulder back. Press firmly into your left hand and arm so your shoulder is also stabilizing. And then with an inhalation, raise your right arm up and past your ear. And exhale, rise up to center. And now left hand straight ahead. Place your palm, press firmly into your left arm, rotate to your right. Roll your right shoulder back as you wrap your right arm around behind the small of your back. You might even put your fingers, you could loop them around to the top of your thigh here if they reach. Not necessary. And then inhale, raise your right arm up past your ear. Keep rotating your torso to your right. And then exhale, rise up to your seat. Okay, let's take these learnings. So this is your stable base so far. It's like a tripod because you've got your sitting bones, thighs, and knees. And now let's take the same mechanical process and put it into Prasarita Padottanasana, wide stance. This is also like a tripod. If you put your fingers out in front, then you've got 2 feet. And let's say this other base of your tripod is where your hands are out in front together. Draw back with your hips. Lengthen the sides of your waist. Enjoy a deep breath in. Then exhale completely. And we're going to keep rotating first to the right side. Okay, so in this process, we were side bending as we sat, and we side bended to the right first, and that influences the ascending colon. Now we're going to do some twisting to the right side first, and that's also to bias the ascending colon. So keep your left hand where it is. Wrap your right arm around behind the small of your back. Let's keep the hips stable. And then exhale, twist to your right. As you roll the right shoulder back, you're going to find you don't have very much leverage for the twist at the moment. It's going to have to come from within. So breathe in deeply. Exhale, twist to your right, keeping your hips stable, left arm strong, and right shoulder back. And then inhale and sweep your right arm along the horizon past your right ear. And exhale to release down. Okay, let's walk the left hand a quarter distance to the right. You wrap your right arm around behind the small of your back. As you inhale, start twisting to your right. Keep your pelvis stable. One thing you might want to do is strengthen your right hip, right leg, right heel, so your hips are not sashaying to the right. Roll the right shoulder back, make the arms strong, and breathe in. Exhale, twist your lower belly to your right, chest and heart to your right. Keep your hips stable. And then inhale, sweep your right arm past your right ear. And exhale to release. And then walk your right hand another quarter distance to the right. Keeping your hips stable. Now you can sense you've got this side bend again where the ascending colon gets a squeeze. So keep the pelvis stable to the best of your ability. Wrap your right arm around behind the small of your back. And inhale, begin twisting right. Exhale, strengthen your twist to the right. Inhale, sweep your right arm past your right ear. And exhale, release down to center. And then walk your left hand, to the outside of your right foot. So you're all the way over to the right. Again, keep the legs stable. So you're really side bending. You're not moving the hips side to side. Wrap your right arm around behind the small of your back. Inhale, twist right. Exhale, strengthen your twist. Inhale, sweep your right arm past your right ear. And exhale to come down to center. Let's walk the hands out in front and we'll do the other side of the sequence. You might notice that there's a lot more energy in your right leg than your left leg, or even in the right low belly relative to the left low belly. So now keeping your right fingers firm, wrap your left arm around behind the small of your back. And inhale, twist to your left without jockeying your hips side to side. Exhale, strengthen your twist. Inhale, sweep your left arm past your left ear. Exhale, return to center. Walk your right hand a quarter way to the left. You've added a side bend already, so you may feel an opening on the right and a little squishy on the left. Wrap your left arm around behind you, and as you inhale, begin rotating left. And then exhale, strengthen your twist to the left. Keep your right arm strong and hips centered. Inhale, left arm past your left ear. And then exhale to release. Keeping your legs strong, walk your right hand one more quarter to the left. Wrap the left arm around behind the small of your back. Inhale, twist left. And exhale to rotate left. Inhale, bring your left arm past your left ear. Exhale, release. Notice that the hips are still centered. If they're sashaying on the release, that's a pretty big hint that they moved during the pose. Okay, walk your right hand across to the outside of your left foot. Wrap your left arm around behind. And then inhale, twist to your left. Exhale, strengthen your twist, including your right arm. And then inhale, reach your left arm past your ear. And exhale to release. Shift your hands to your hips and please rise up to standing. Okay, and let's go heel, toe, until you're standing in mountain pose. And my hope is that you feel like you're embodying or inhabiting the lower hemisphere of the body more now. You can close the eyes and check and see if that's true for you. Okay, and now we're going to play with a little bit more twisting, moving through Surya Namaskar to get there. So I'd like you to come to the front of your yoga mat. Mine's a little cluttered on this side. I'll go this way. It's okay to use yoga blocks also for this. I often do use the blocks, and I'll take a couple from the shelf today as well. And I like to use them because it makes the transition from downward dog, stepping forward, a little bit easier. It also makes this more powerful here when you're able to press firmly down during your forward bend. So it can strengthen the inner work of the abdomen. And so come to the top of your mat, join your hands together at your heart. And then breathing in, hands down, palms forward. As you raise up, keep your gaze forward or down. Exhale, come into chair pose. Squeeze the lower belly. Inhale, rise up, upward hands pose. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, glide forward halfway. Exhale, left toes back. Inhale to rise, crescent. Exhale, stay in crescent, but reach back to interlace your fingers at the small of your back. Roll the shoulders back, broaden your kidneys so you're not exploiting the lower back. Lift your heart. Bring your gaze down towards the floor for grounding. And let's breathe in. And as you exhale, bow over your right thigh. Release your torso. Keep the hands clasped. Relax the weight of your head, and the arms can go up towards the ceiling. And then inhale, raise back up by rooting down into your right leg to come up. And exhale, release your hands to the two blocks. Let's inhale backwards, downward dog pose. Exhale forward to plank pose. Inhale to upward dog pose. Exhale, plank pose. Inhale, downward facing dog. And then exhale, left foot forward, excuse me. Inhale to rise into your crescent. Let's take the arms down, clasp your hands at the small of your back. Try changing the interlace of your fingers so it feels a little bit unusual. Broaden the back of your waist as you inhale. And then exhale and bow your torso over your left thigh. Keep the outer left hip strong, the left hamstring and heel are active. And then rising up. And exhale, release your hand to the two blocks. Inhale backwards to downward dog pose. Exhale, plank pose. Inhale, upward facing dog pose. Exhale, plank. Inhale, downward dog. And exhale, right foot forward, left foot forward, Uttanasana. Inhale to rise. And exhale, hands to the heart. And we're going to add to the sequence. So let's go again, breathing in. Exhale, chair pose. Rise up. Descend. Inhale forward. Exhale, left toes back. Inhale, rise. Exhale, clasp your hands at the lower back. Breathe in. Exhale, bow forward. Inhale up. Exhale, hands to the blocks. Make your left hand firm. Inhale, twist to your right. Exhale, release, both hands to the blocks. Inhale, downward facing dog. Exhale, plank. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, plank. Inhale, downward dog. Exhale, left foot forward. Inhale, rise. Exhale, release your arms to clasp the hands at the small of your back. Exhale, bow forward. Inhale, rise. Exhale, descend. Make the right hand firm on the block. Inhale, twist left. Exhale, release. Take the full exhale. Inhale, step backwards. Downward dog. Exhale, plank. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, plank. Inhale, downward facing dog. And then exhale, step forward. Uttanasana. Inhale, rise up. And hands to the heart. And stand really still in mountain pose and notice what happens for you after movement when there's an opportunity for stillness. And release both hands. So we had a little exploration there, just a minor twist in that lunge position. Let's see about that twist being a little bit deeper. So if you'll come down to the floor, one of the things about that twist is that you have the front leg in flexion, and then you have the back leg in extension. And we're rotating the lower belly, but trying to keep the pelvis stable. So one way to practice that to give more stability to it is to have the back knee on the floor. And that would be like an Anjaneyasana position. And that's going to give more stability, but also more feedback, because if your knee shifts position, you're going to notice that you're shifting your hips, which is going to shift your knee. Or if you roll the back ankle, you'll notice it in the sensations of the knee, which is to say the sensations of your knee feeling the floor. So let's put the right foot forward in Anjaneyasana, left foot back. Okay. And so if you've got the left knee down, right now it should be centered. And then the top, I like the top of my foot personally. You can also tuck the toes under if you prefer that, but I'm fond of this. Let the hips come down and forward. Take your right hand to your right knee, left hand to your block. Press into both hands and start rotating your lower belly to your right. But press down through your left arm too. So this isn't a lazy hammock kind of pelvis. There's tone in the lower belly. And as you rotate right, keep the back leg stable, pelvis stable. Rotate your mid-torso, your chest, your heart, your right shoulder. And then if you'd like to, as you move your lower abdomen to the right, pick up the left arm and cross over your right thigh. As you cross over, you can add to the twist by bringing your palms together in Anjali Mudra. Press your left elbow. If it's on your right knee, press your left elbow down against your right knee so the inner body can still rotate, though the outer body is stable. And then exhale to release from here. Now, place the left hand and the right hand on the two blocks, tuck your left toes under, straighten your left leg. Now the dynamics have changed again. So bring your right hand to your right knee, loop your left arm over your left leg, and you might put your hand on the block or on the floor to the outside of your right ankle. And as you swish your belly to the right, you have the option of then picking up your right arm. Breathe in, keep the outer right hip stable. And then exhale to lower your right hand to its block, left hand to its block, and step backwards to downward dog pose. You might notice the heat that your body generated and then the release of that heat down your right leg. And bring your left foot forward. Touch the right knee down. You can point the toes or you can tuck them under. Bring your left hand to your left knee, right hand to the block. Okay, so as you rotate the lower belly across your lap to the left, think of it as starting in the low abdomen, but keep your right leg, right knee, right foot stable. And turn the mid-torso, your upper chest, left shoulder, and you have the option of bringing your right arm across. Bring the palms together. Let's keep the left knee stable, left outer hip stable. So as we work on these twists through the lower belly, we began with vagal tone. The vagus nerve is also innervating the gut and is very supportive for your digestion and elimination. When we exhale, let's rotate back around to center. Place your hands on the blocks, tuck your right toes under. Straighten your right leg. Now the dynamics on the body are different once again, and you can put your left hand on your left knee, swish the low belly across. And you may find that you're going to bring the right arm across to put your hand on your block or on the floor. And then you may be someone who can raise your left arm. So this is binding, it's changing circulation, it's rotating, it's squishing the belly. And then as you exhale, the release of the pose is going to include the release of some heat or circulation. Step back to dog pose. It also releases the colon, that was the descending colon. Okay, so let's have you come down to the knees into Vajrasana and take notice how things are feeling in the lower abdomen. And then using both blocks as a support, raise your hips enough to get the feet through. Come onto your back. Keep your blocks close by. I hope you're going to have really good digestion today, which is very important for Vata dosha to feel grounded, for all the doshas to be balanced. So now I'd like you to press into both heels, raise up to bridge pose, lift your sitting bones, lift your tailbone, tuck the shoulders under. Either use a yoga strap or clasp your hands under the small of your back. And then further secure your shoulders. And notice now that we are again closing the throat. In Sanskrit, this is called Satchibandhasana.
And as you exhale, lower your hips down, release your arms and shoulders. Notice when you come down, the throat is neither greatly open nor greatly closed, but more neutral. And hopefully the mind keeps finding its way down into the abdomen. Now, as we repeat bridge pose, you have the option of placing your feet on your blocks. And I just put my blocks onto the flat setting right there. Bring your head to center. Lift your tailbone first. Raise your sitting bones. As your hips come up, reach under to hold a yoga strap or clasp your hands at the small of your back. Press into your heels and your toes. Engage your glutes and your hamstrings, but without just over squeezing on the sacrum. Lengthen the pelvis towards your knees. So it's not just that you're making like a hairpin turn at the lower back where the sacrum meets the base of the lumbar spine. And lift your heart. You can tuck the shoulders under. Use your shoulder blades to support the lift of your heart as you bring your chin towards your sternum. Your sternum is also coming towards your chin. And then exhale to lower down. You can keep your feet on the blocks if you like. And then we can go up one more time, and you have the option of either the feet can stay again flat on the floor, they could go on the small flat setting of the blocks, or you could put your blocks on the medium setting if your hips, lower back, shoulders, and neck are comfortable with it. Press into both heels. Raise your tailbone first. Lift up through the hips. Lengthen the whole spine. Clasp your hands at the small of your back. Allow the breath to be even and smooth. So inhale can be equal to exhale. And then release your arms. And again, exhale, roll the spine down. You're kind of rolling from the top down. As you come down, then reach for the two blocks and place them on the flat setting on a little diagonal like this. And put your hips there so that the blocks are snugging up against the outside of your sacrum. And then let the knees fall towards the chest. Deeply relax your mind and your body. You might think that this counter pose is because we were back bending. But if you think of it in the terms of the vayus, this counter pose is because we were opening apana vayu there. We were closing udana vayu. So now we're nourishing apana vayu. And samana and udana vayu are neutral. We also, in bridge pose, we work quite a bit on dhyana vayu as you squeeze the upper back and then release the arms. And so that's also settling down now. So counter poses are more because of the vayus or the nervous system. That's different than thinking of it as because of your musculoskeletal system. Let's touch the feet down and come to Shavasana. This time of year, it's really helpful to cover with a blanket, even if you only cover the lower body, but you also can cover the whole body. As you close your eyes, come into the practice of surrender, the pose called Shavasana. Notice your entire body settling down. You could even imagine that all the prana is being redistributed in a balanced and harmonious way. Allow your body to get heavier, more deeply relaxed. And observe all the sensations of your body moving through this Shavasana time, while deeply, deeply relaxing your mind, not thinking of future nor past, resting in the present. Invite the possibility of physical and mental stillness. We'll rest for another minute. Nothing to do and nowhere to go. Now wiggle your fingers and your toes. Okay, bend your knees. Roll to your side.
Come up to sitting.
And let's check back in with the stable base that we began from. You can certainly use a blanket to sit on if that is customary for you. I use the very front edge of my blanket, just snugged under my sitting bones. It doesn't go very far under. You might find that you need a tiny bit, not a lot, or that you may need less than you started class with. If your mind can come down into the ground, into the pelvic basin. And can your mind be relatively still? Meanwhile, the hands and feet should feel warmer. So we've abated the cold of Vata in the body. Attention and energy should be more available in Apana and Samana Vayus. So the Vayus more balanced, the gut brain more balanced. If you have access to mental stillness, you may feel like not speaking very much, having a quiet morning, using your words more purposely or maybe even more elegantly. And our natural heart's desire for the welfare of everyone and everything, our natural compassionate, empathetic heart is also more available. You can raise your hands to your heart one more time. Thank you very much, everyone. Namaste.
Thank you so much for sharing your practice with me and with the community. I hope your mind is feeling more clear and that you can purposely use your voice, your throat, and stay connected to the lower values in your body today as well. May you stay grounded and feel at home in yourself. If this practice was helpful to you, please don't forget to click the like button and subscribe to our channel if you have not yet done so. That helps me to keep producing more content for you. And I'm dedicated to offering the tradition of yoga in its full scope. So please also leave your questions and comments down below. See you next time.